Get that count now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my homie, my brother, my friend,
Son Soul Lex up in this thing.
Yeah, we back in here. About to jump back on this "Where Are Blacks Welcome" topic. Before we get into that, you find us on whatever podcast platform you choose to subscribe to. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. What else? What am I missing?
You can also reach us at kingandI369@gmail.com. Again, that's KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Again, we love to hear from our listeners out there, and especially our viewers. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe on whatever platform that you view us on, whether that be YouTube or Patreon, or what else am I missing here?
We already said them all, but
yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with hitting them again, but we good.
Y'all know.
We good.
For sure.
So we got a guest with us. Goes by the name of Sheryl. Go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sheryl.
And that's all she got for her intro.
And thank you, Miss Sheryl, for joining us. We sure appreciate it. Anytime we can get another voice involved, another opinion, another view, it's always great.
Yes, indeed. So we were talking about where our Blacks welcome. In the first segment, we talked about the corporate world, the opportunities, unequal pay, being passed over because of our complexions. Did you want to add into that anything before we went on further? Oh, we got a shy one.
Okay.
Let's go though. But
we'll bring it out.
Yeah, we'll bring it out. But yeah, that corporate world is something crazy out there. With them trying not to welcome us and us trying not to be a part of it. And I think at this point in time, it's more critical for us to show that we belong there so that they are they're less reluctant to say that we're not welcome or treat us like we're not welcome. I think that's one of the bigger factors in the big thing. That's just my opinion, though.
Keep out star players. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, your league won't be shit without star players. So no matter how you try to chop it up, you can't stop us. Whether we play in your league or we play in our own league. 9 times out of 10, we do well in your league, but when we do our own thing, people come to us. You did, like, when you out there and you're doing your thing and you're successful with whatever business or line of business you're in, your customers will come. So, like they say, there's always more than one way to skin a cat.
It's interesting that you brought up leagues because we didn't even talk about sports.
No, we didn't.
I don't even think we put that as one of our speaking points.
Sure didn't.
And the interesting thing is, for a long time, they hate us in everything else except for sports.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I've heard some athletes talk about, because of their athletic abilities, they tend to not have to go through so many rough experiences as the average person.
That's true. Yeah. You're such and such, and like you could be driving drunk off your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you such and such. Oh, just be careful. Let me escort you. Let me make sure you get here safe.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it reminds me of that scene in Harlem Nights, where the champ got caught with Mr. Sugar. And anyway, he was like, wait a minute, everybody goes downtown except for the champ. Because he know what is behind the champ being locked up. If the champ is locked up, there's going to be a whole lot of people not making bread. So he wasn't about to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. I think the whole sports aspect of it is more interesting than anything else. They fought so long to keep us out, and then once we got in, it took them a while to accept us. But then once they started accepting us and seeing our value as those star players, as you previously mentioned, our what's the word I want to use? Our worth became exploded. Definitely. And sports became more entertaining and all and profitable and all that other stuff, because with them it was just dry. But you add a little color to it, no pun intended. Mm-hmm. It's what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, look at the whole situation with the NFL, right? For example, with I want to say his name right,
Colin Kaepernick.
Thank you. He basically started something that had a definite impact on the league. Right. When they decided that, we're gonna blackball this guy, you saw the NFL go through a downward spiral.
Yeah, a little one.
But the thing about it is, I still don't think to this day people are tuning into the NFL like that. I mean, you saw how what's the pizza guy name? Papa John's Pizza. Yeah. You saw how it fucked up his whole pizza business. Yeah. Like the corporate people, like the shareholders, they kicked his ass out. Like, your ass is fired. Like, you fucking up the money.
Right. Straight
so
up.
when you notice that there's an impact on your business, again, dollars make sense. And when the cents aren't making dollars, that's when motherfuckers start acting up. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, hold on. Don't walk out the door just yet. Let's see what we can work out here.
Right. Let's fix this right quick.
Yeah. So I definitely think that when it comes down to, our shade of people and whatever league they're in, there is an impact. Don't give a damn what you say.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I believe there's a great impact, especially when it comes to the NFL and the NBA, because the only thing they really see is dollar signs. They don't really see skill. They see that, hey, we can make money off them if we train them the right way.
Ooh.
So that takes us back to slavery. Ooh. If we train them the right way, we can make our money. So that's why you see more young guys coming in the NBA and the NFL. Because they're seeing them dollar signs, because they can train them because they're still young to what they want them to be and not what they truly are.
I can't even argue with that one.
No pushback whatsoever.
I mean, and the interesting thing about that is, although you see top level players appearing like they're running things, I mean, I don't know the true dynamics of that, but at the same time, when you throw them big dollars at them, them nice shiny things, they all flock to that.
Yeah. I mean,
the more money you pay them, the more master what you need me to do.
Yeah.
How you need me to run that ball? How fast you want me to go?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because money moves Black people. Because we spend so much time in poverty and lacking. When they finally get to that place where they're a headliner, all they see is dollar signs. And they don't really see that they're really in some way selling out to the white man when it comes to the NFL and the NBA. Because they're still taking orders, but only thing they see is dollar signs. So are we really welcomed? Honestly.
I mean, very valid points. Because again, certain athletes have been blackballed when they don't play by the rules, as they say.
Because they ain't run the ball as fast as they wanted to, or whatever the case may be.
But my thing when it comes down to professional sports, people can criticize these athletes for making millions of dollars, even hundreds of millions, but that's nothing compared to the owner. Nothing.
Right.
That's like a drop in the damn bucket for them.
True.
Like,
and majority of them are white.
Yeah.
they're not worried about that shit. Like, oh, he only won 110 million. Okay,
Yeah.
a little bit more than what I really want to give him, but that's nothing.
Because they're multi-billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I was a multi-billionaire, 10 million would be a drop in the bucket for me too.
It looks like a dime or a nickel for them.
Right. Oh man, that is true. I didn't even think about putting that part in there. That's a good point.
Right. I can't knock these athletes for doing what they have to do to feed themselves and their families. Um, I just think that is a little bit more worthwhile when they actually give back to their communities and they're actually smart enough with their money to put some back and just don't blow that, that wall.
God, that's the part that irritates me the most.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. When you sign for so many million, yeah, you're gonna have to pay your agent, you're gonna have to pay your
taxes and all this other stuff.
There's a whole line of stuff that comes with that. But at the end of the day, you really have to watch your nickels and dimes, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Just be smart with it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and and I think part of the problem is, I think a lot of them would give back to a degree, but I think there's too many people who are just in their pockets to be in their pockets. Oh, you got it. You can't give me none. Oh, I helped you get. You didn't help me get there. You wasn't out there running that ball with me. You weren't taking them hits. You wasn't getting up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
you wasn't doing all that. So, to both of y'all point, yeah, it's all of that in there. But then you dumping this money at them, and they be like, you know what? I got to leave that behind. That is not even me no more. And then it's like, I could separate you from your own and, tool you the way I want to.
Yep.
And some athletes are like that until they get injured and they can't play no more. So because you did not deposit back into your community, you want your community to deposit into you. When you was making all this money, you wasn't worried about your community. You wasn't worried about giving back. You wasn't worried about who you can help. You were just worried about you. So now that you're injured and you can't play no more, now what?
Yeah, but you had them $80,000 earrings and five $300,000 cars and a $20 million house, which you could have put back in the community that you came from that looked like who done it and why the hell they do it and do it that bad.
And my whole thing about that is, when we talk about giving back to our communities, when it comes down to having that kind of money, the thing about it is you don't have to buy stuff and give it away. Meaning like buy up a certain part of, whatever environment you came from and produce it into a park. You know what? MF that park. How about taking that and putting a business there so you can hire the people from the community?
Definitely.
That's giving back.
Yes. I totally agree.
With benefits.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you giving back, but at the same time, everybody gets to benefit. You get the benefit because you own a business. The community benefits because you took a piece of land that probably was trash or broken down buildings or houses, and you cleared it and you put a building there or a business there. So now you can hire people from the community who can also support their families. So like I said, it's just about being smart with your money, man. You don't need no damn $20 million house. You can get you a $1 million crib or a $500,000 crib, whatever, and take the rest of that money and invest in businesses that give back to your community.
Yeah. You buy a $20 million mansion and it's only you and 4 of your homeboys, or you, your wife and 1 child and 5 dogs and 15 cars, but you could have took that to whatever city you coming from, and like you said, put that into a business, or you know, rehab some of them houses that's out there that's not going to kill your pockets, and then you can, get people off the street.
They want to be seen. That's what it is. They want to see, okay, this is what I have accomplished, but you really didn't accomplish because you still did it in an area where you weren't really truly welcome, but you went because that's the only opportunity that was given to you. So now because that opportunity was given to you, you want to be seen. So you want to flash your money.
Right.
You don't want to give it back the right way. And, going back to your Black community and establishing jobs is big. Because a lot of these places where these athletes come from, they come from small towns where you're making still $6.50 an hour, and there really are no valuable jobs there. So why not go back and put a warehouse there, or put a department Black-owned business there to say, hey, I'm giving back by giving you guys jobs that are not only going to benefit you now, but in the future, because there's room to grow.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you keep that dollar circulating in the community, and you don't have to go to a store or a brand name place where they really don't want them. They don't really want us there, but our dollars look good to them. Because it's been a lot of that with these high end designers and stuff. What was it, Gucci or whatever one of them it was, where yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off the topic with that one.
Right.
But yeah, that's crazy.
My thing again, I'll make this quick point and we'll move on. About where we welcome when it comes down to our dollars. We're just talking about how Gucci, had a situation where they're basically saying they didn't want Black people really
buying their stuff.
True.
But if we don't buy it, then they won't. Then nobody else will.
I think it's one of those things where, why would you want to spend money with someone who's basically telling you they don't want your money? I think that's the dumbest damn thing ever. Like, why are we still in this day and age offended when someone say, I don't want you buying my product? I'm like, thank you. Motherfuck you and your product. I can go spend my dollar somewhere else with somebody who do want it.
Right.
So, but isn't Tommy Hilfiger the same way? He don't want Black folks buying his stuff.
I think that was one of the first ones that was an openly spoken on issue. I think Tommy Hilfiger was one of those first ones, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Tommy Hilfiger was one of those.
I want to say there was something along the lines where Oprah Winfrey may have interviewed him and she asked him that question directly.
She probably did. I don't remember.
I'm not sure what the results were. I'm not sure if she asked him to leave the show, or the answer he gave was acceptable, or what the outcome was. But anyway, again, I just think that when it comes down to my money, if someone shows me, whether it be directly or indirectly, that they don't care for, the indigenous people of this land, why in the hell would I go spend my money with you?
Right.
I'm not going to do that. I think that's one of our greatest weapons, but we don't utilize it. Stop spending your damn money with people who don't have any love for people from your community.
Right. Yeah. That's critical.
Yeah.
That's real critical.
But I guess we can go ahead and move on with that military thing.
Man. Oh, yes, let's move on to this military thing. Yeah. We all three of us are associated with the military. Out of the three of us, I'm the only one who, went in. And this is one of those topics that, is real touchy for a lot of people. And some people, well, it's touchy on both ends. People who feel like it's not the place for us, Black people, and those of us who feel like, I earned my right or I deserve to serve. Me personally, I got 25 and a half years. I would have had 30 years if I didn't have 2 breaks in service. But, you know, as I tell people all the time, if I didn't join, I don't know where I would be. I joined not too long after high school. I didn't have a job. I wasn't going to college. I had no preparation to go to college. I didn't have the guidance to go to college. I didn't even have the mindset to go to college. And you know, like I always say, my mother sent me down to Florida with family, telling them I was going to college, and I had no idea that's what the hell she told them. But you know, I was sitting around doing nothing, and I just felt like I was a burden on the people the family I was staying with. Again, they knew me, and from my experience, that's my first time meeting them. So, you know, after walking, you know, down them streets of Miami, walking 3, 4, 5, 6 miles, you know, 2, 3 times a week looking for a job and not getting one, I saw that recruiter's office and I was like, hey, I got to get up out of here. But we all know the history of you know, how we came to start being in the military. It was that from the North, dangling freedom in our faces. And in the South, it was one of those things where you show your loyalty to the South because we'll treat you better, blah, blah, blah. And then with the British, it was kind of like, hey, you join us and you don't have to deal with none of that mess. You know, that's just a quick, you know, not so accurate summary, but a general idea.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they really didn't want us there. We weren't welcomed in the military for various reasons. And one, it was they didn't think we were good enough. 2, they didn't want us to have the ability to fight back. And you know, it transitioned through the years. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was Eisenhower when he became president who got rid of segregation in the military. And we've gone through so many transitions and battles with just in ourselves trying to get the respect and dignity in the military. I can say, as far as today, we've pretty much gotten all of those things, but it still wasn't without a battle, and it's still a battle in certain places. But you know, that's my, you know, my beginning, you know, thought on this topic, this part.
All right. I mean, as far as the military, I'm pretty sure our listeners know how I feel about the military. I'll just run it down right quick. Again, I have nothing but praise, highs, honor, you know, all that good vibes for the soldiers. For anybody who's willing to go into any branch of the military, for me, that is like the biggest personal sacrifice anyone can make. So again, I salute that. You know, I take my hat off to it. All that, you know, hip hip hooray. My father served in the military. Again, he did his thing. My uncle, 2 of my uncles went in. So, you know, I can't say anything bad about the military per se. Again, my thing is, when you have these politicians playing games with these soldier lives, that is and always have been my biggest issue. So again, no disrespect to any soldier. Again, do your thing, appreciate it. But these politicians, I just think they have way too much power when it comes to the military aspect in some regards. But I think that anybody that goes into the military, especially us, you are basically doing a service to yourself, because once you're in there, you learn so many different things. You learn how to be in hostile environments to a certain degree and how to deal with that. You learn special trades. You learn how to deal with people. You learn how to follow orders. I mean, the list goes on and on, where it is a benefit to you. So anybody that says that, melanated people aren't welcome in the military or shouldn't be in the military, I think that's your own personal opinion there. And again, not going to bash you for your own personal opinion, but I just think when it comes down to that, if that's what that person decides is the best move for them, then I think by all means you should do it.
True. Yeah. What about you? What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts was I used to be a military wife, and they gave my husband a hard time in the military. I don't really speak bad about the military, but just as him trying to gain rank, somebody else was supposed to be promoted at the same time that he was. Um, but they promoted the other guy, even though he had some issues that he should not have been promoted. But they promoted him anyway, but they did not promote my husband at the time. So there is, I believe, this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, I believe that there was still some kind of prejudice there because the other guy was white and my husband was black. But do I feel like that at that time? I felt like they would do anything they could to get us colored people out of the military. Because if you, a real person, a real colored person, if that's what they want to do, they're going to do everything they can to achieve in the military, and they really don't want that. They don't want us to supersede them or do better than them. So they'll do what they some. Now, I'm not sure how it is now, but then they'll do whatever they can to kind of pull you back down, like that crab mentality. So do I think blacks are more welcome now in the military than they were when I was a military wife like 20 years ago.
I think another thing about it though, and not trying to shy away from the issue of racial inequalities in the military, just to be real about it, there are organizations within organizations, meaning one party has an upper hand over another party, even though they may be the same race. I won't go too far deep into that, but just speaking with some people that I know that are in the military, where there are certain privileges that other people get because of who they're associated with, or someone that their previous generation of military men may have knew. So it's kind of like any other organization. Sometimes it's not who you know or what you know, but it's like who you know who's attached to something that's bigger than what the average person sees.
Right.
So I'll leave it at that.
Well, I can't deny what Sheryl is saying because a lot of that stuff has gone on for a long time. I can't speak to if it still goes on. I think over the last maybe 5 or 10 years, it's probably been more difficult for those things to happen. I will say that I've spent the majority of my time in the military in the National Guard. And I can honestly say around the time when I first got in the National Guard in 97, they had that good old boy system. So if you wasn't, if you wasn't part of the good old boys club, it was definitely harder. And in the National Guard compared to active duty of any branch it was a whole lot harder. Because when I joined the National Guard in 97, I was a E4. It took me from 97 all the way up to 2005 to get E5.
Wow.
And that's an extremely long time. There was a whole bunch of factors, but I don't even think my factors qualified to be held back by the good old boy system because there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Now, I will say there was nobody there who really, was, hey, what's going on? Let's figure this out.
Right.
Until I had a black female commander who said, "Oh, it's a new regime. We're gonna get you right," and that's what got me to my E5. Then it took from '05 to, I want to say, maybe 2011, 12 to get my E6. And then I got my E7 in 2013. So from 2013 to 2021, I've been an E7. To me, that's way, way, way too long. Part of it was my fault because I was like, I'm about to get up out of here. And then when I tried to go back to school, it took me all the way up until last March to get to school. But now I have to go to another school. In another school, I have to do an online school, another school to get promoted. Now, I can honestly say that good old boy system is not so much affecting me now.
Right.
But when it comes to my evaluations, so to get one every year. And every year for the last, I want to say 5 or 6 years, I'm waiting for somebody to do my evaluation. Mm-hmm. And,
wow.
You know, I have to do my one part of the support form, and whoever's over me has to actually do my evaluation. And literally for the last 5, 6 years, it's been late. Do I look at that some type of way? Yes, I do. Do I look at it as somebody doesn't want me around? Yes, I do. That may not be the case, but if I look at it from my perspective as a black man in the military, that's how I'm going to feel. Because if I'm saying that this person, hey, I need this done, I need this done, I need this done, and I don't get a response, that's how I'm gonna feel about it. But overall, I think we are more welcome. And I can honestly say that because we've had a black female general who was in charge of the Maryland National Guard. We had a black female sergeant major in the National Guard that was at the top. So I can honestly say that we are more welcome, and especially women, black women, more welcome because, you know, you see a black female general and it's like, wow, okay. And then we have another one that's in the Army National Guard in Maryland, who's, I think, is going to be the next black female general in charge of the Maryland National Guard. So we are more welcome than we were previously.
Well, let me ask you about that though. With these females in these high-ranking positions, has it been just because they truly deserve that position, or a black male, they rather see a black female than a black male?
No, it's because they deserve those positions. I like one of them I personally knew. Mm-hmm. So I've seen her growth through the ranks. So, and she definitely deserved it, was very well qualified for it. So yeah, I can't even say, oh, it's because they want to see a black woman instead of a black man. As a matter of fact, we did have a black man in charge of the Maryland National Guard. It was a while ago, but mm-hmm. I haven't seen any black males get up to that rank in a long time. I don't know the specific reasons why they have not gone that far. Maybe they just didn't want to. Maybe they were done. I have no idea.
Right. But
we did have one, and he was a very qualified dude. He was a very nice dude. His name was General Good. He was a good dude, and he definitely earned his position. But we've had, throughout the military history, we've had a lot of ours who, attained the rank of general, admiral, and in all those high level positions. As a matter of fact, the Secretary of Defense now is a black man. Mm-hmm. So, and Biden put him there. So I do believe that we are more welcome than we're not. We might face oppositions here and there for whatever reason, but right. I believe overall we've earned our spots.
That's what's up, man.
But we got to take a break here. King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Touch of the Poet, and my brother,
Son of Soul Lex in this thing.
and our guest that's in the house with us,
Sheryl.
Yes. Find us on whatever podcast platform that you choose to follow. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Check us out on our lives every Wednesday, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Did I say Patreon? I think I did.
Yeah.
Son So Lex likes to tell you to hit us up on what?
KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Again, that's KingandI369@gmail.com. And Miss Sheryl, you're gonna have to put Miss in front of Sheryl. Put some respect on your name. You know what I'm talking about?
There it is, brother. There it is. And we'll be back with it.
For sure.